everyone. Welcome into Drums by Liz. Today we're breaking down some 30-second note figures for ourselves. Okay, it's kind of a busy beat, as we see. Okay, it's going to come out of the gate kind of fast, 1 and a 1 and a 2 and a 2 and a. Okay, and then we can come off into a more relaxed feel, a little bit of a funky kind of feel off the end. Okay, you could also invert this. You could start with your little funky easy part, 1 and a 2 and then you could come into this 3 and a 3 and a 4 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and stuff like that, right? So of course we can invert it. It's all good either way, okay? So depending on what the musical application this would be in will determine that for you, okay? All right, so let's break down what we're doing. Beat 1 is 1 and a 1 E and a. So kind of think like it's just like 1 E and a, but we're doubling all those notes after beat 1. So rather than 1 E and a, bass, left, right, bass, we're going to go bass, left, left, right, right, bass, bass. 1 and a 1 E and a, 1 and a 1 E and a 2. And I would tell you, yeah, get to beat 2 when you're first learning this, and then just relax on the end. Come back to beat 1 again, polish up beat 1. Once that's good, move on a little bit, okay? So 1 and a 1 E and a. You know, like maybe you could, float something like that in, okay? Because then you can excerpt all of this stuff. Oh, you can take that one little, cherry pick it, right? You can take that one and be like, okay, let's put that over here. All right, so now beat 2 is where it has to be a little bit more exact with the foot, okay? You can be really quick off of your snare note because we're in a 30-second note formula with the foot note, okay? So it has to be like, okay, so we played all of beat 2, 2 E and a, 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 2 E and a. So it has to be 1 and a 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 and a 1, sorry, 1 and a 1 E and a. Right, and sometimes like I flipped that left hand up to the hi-hat by accident there, but you might like that, okay? So many times when we're playing, this stuff happens, right? Oh, I meant to be here, I was there. Well, I used to joke, are we out there? We're in here, we're out there. But anyways, don't mean to be goofy, but anyways, you can take that, and play with it, make it your own, make it a fun thing for yourself, okay? And you know what? If nothing else, a little comic relief in life, right? Okay, so we've got all of those concepts now. We can put beat 1 and 2 together, kind of nice. Again, let's look at beat 2 a little bit more intensely, okay? So it's 2 E and a, and then 2 E and a, okay? So 2 E and a, 2 E and a would be the sticking, but we're moving it up to the hi-hat. 2 E and a, 2 E and a. When you're moving up to the hi-hat, that's the and of 2, where you're going there, okay? So first half of 2 is mostly on the snare drum. Type of thing, okay? So 1 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. And then just relax off the end part of that, okay? Beat 3 is just bass, left, right, bass, left, right, right. And we do a little opening in there. If you wanted, you could embellish beat 4 a little bit. 3 E and 4 E and maybe add a bass note on the E of 3. depending on how you feel, and again, what's maybe beautifying the music more, okay? Sometimes maybe that bass note might be a little much. Maybe you want to end it with a real nicety off, trailing off on the cymbal notes, okay? All right, so, because when we play, we want to tell a little bit of a story, right? As best we can, even though we're dealing with rhythm. We can make something kind of sound polished and nice and musical, okay? All right, so we shouldn't fall into this typical stereotype of a drummer, right? Try to be as musical as you can, right? Sit and play, unending. Just see if you can keep going. Try to find ways to transist into something else. Don't get stuck in a rut, right? So and all of those things that I just mentioned are way harder than just talking about them, right? Force yourself, put on a metronome. Be like, I gotta just keep going. The show must go on. All of those things, okay? Because it preps you for the real world, for the real drumming experiences that you have, okay? Now, once in a while, I was coming off of that whole little phrase there and putting in some different hi-hat placements off the end part, rather than going what I just explained as 3 and 4 and. I want you to change beat 3 into 3 E and 4 E and, or 3 E and 4 E and. So again, we have the beat of 4 can have the bass in there or not. That's the only difference there. Beat 3 is what changes, okay? 3 E and ooh, it's quite a bit different, right? 3 E and 4 E and. So let's work that in. So 1 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. And if you notice, you have to be mindful to stay up on the hi-hat. Off of beat 2, we're playing 2 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. So many times I will have students, just land that beat of 3. Make sure you're confident and it's solidified, right? Because, so many times you might be like, oh, I think I have it. And then you go back and, a few minutes later or a day later or a month later, it's like, no, it's not quite there for you, So do your best to reinforce these things. Keep practicing them, right? Pull it out on a daily basis if you can, right? And work through it. Okay, there's going to be a lot more to come with this. We're going to start to move that left, bring the right hand up, start moving your left hand, okay? So if you've been with me for a little while, I hope you notice and realize that we're always expanding things, okay? We're always thinking like the universe, right? It just keeps multiplying, right? Like our thoughts, like creativity, like our intuition, all of those things, to be mindful of and be thankful for, right? I think the more that you're thankful on all of this stuff, the more that it floods into us, right? And it's just like, hearing Grandma and Grandpa say, what goes around comes around, right? And I always, as a kid, I was like, that was always maybe said, or not always, but sometimes said as a negative thing. What goes around comes around. And if you're a SOB, you're going to, experience some badness back to you, right? But think about it and shift it. Put goodness out, right? Watch it come tenfold back to you, okay? I experience this daily, hourly, sometimes by the minute, right? Okay? And, not to get too metaphysical or godly or however you look at this, but bond with it, find a way, take a walk out in the woods, and just sit and write down all the things that we're thankful for, right? Those are big things that make a big difference. Okay, everybody, have a good week, okay? And I will see you next Friday. Take care and have lots of happy drumming.